Hey everybody, welcome back. This is technically part 3 for the Super Coupe. It's running right now, and we're going to go do the first wash in like 30 years. It's gonna be gross. There's so much dust and stuff on this car, and it'll be kind of cool to see what it looks like after. It's been inside since I've owned it, which has just been like 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. But I think it was stored inside pretty much most of the time it's been sitting. Main reason we got to go wash it is we're going to start doing a lot of work on it. And that engine, that is disgusting. And I'm sick of getting my hands all dirty. So yeah, gonna go wash it, clean it up, get it ready to go so that we can have it at the car show here in just a couple weeks. So follow along. So I towed it in, not because I was afraid of driving it here, more because I was afraid of whether it would drive home. Because anytime you do a really good wash, spray down on the engine, the chance of it not running right away is there, just because you never know if you might accidentally spray a wire or something like that. But also when I put on the wrecker, you can kind of get a good look underneath. I may actually, after I wash it, put it back on the wrecker and pull it in and spray the bottom off really good. I am kind of interested to see, like, there's a little bit of rust down here. I am interested to see how some of that looks after I wash it. This is really the first time, I'm guessing, in 30 years or more that it's been washed. I don't think the IAA washes them or cares. And it's certainly, everything looks pretty nasty. Anyway, well, I'm gonna hurry and get it off the truck, get it over there here at the Buggy Bath in Smithfield, Utah, and see what we can do. So since it does run, while I go break this into quarters for this car wash, I'm going to actually let the car run so they can kind of get warm, and hopefully that will help so that I can cook some of the grease off. And I mean, I don't know if it's gonna work, but it certainly can't hurt. I really think this car is cool. Those colors are awesome, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like once I wash it. Hopefully the stripes are still there. You know what's really cool about this kind of slot machine? You win every time. So now that it's warm and it's kind of steamy, probably can't see it in the camera, I'm gonna spray the crap out of it with some gunk engine degreaser. I've got original and heavy duty gel. I'm gonna try them both. I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes and maybe start spraying like the wheel wells and stuff like that. Let it soak in and then spray the crap out of it, and I'll show you the results after. Well, in the 20 minutes that I've been washing this, had a crazy rain and lightning thunderstorm come through. So that was kind of sketchy, washing the car when there were lightning bolts literally like right out here. But anyway, pretty impressed with the gunk cleaner stuff. I didn't know the engine was blue. I thought it was black. So that's something. But that's all still dirty, but it's going to get cleaned up a lot more this weekend, and furthermore as we do a lot of work on it. But overall, I'm pretty impressed. Love those colors. Now I'm going to see if it will start so I can go put it over by that. I don't think there's any way I'll drive on now because of how slick it is, but I really don't think it's going to start. I put a lot of water, soap and everything on there, but just for fun, let's see what this old Mopar does. Sounds like the battery's getting weak. I have a high torque starter for it. Not on yet, obviously, but okay. I'm just gonna not risk hurting it. And since I have a wrecker with a winch that I'm gonna put it on anyway. I'll just back up and put it on. Okay, so we are going to actually start work on the Super Coupe, but anybody that knows the F-body knows how hard those grills are to find. So we're gonna get out of the way right now so we don't risk breaking it anymore. And then gonna start tearing this old dirty 360 down some so we can just kind of freshen it up a little and have some fun. Cameron decided he wanted to be like one of those Harley riders that have their handlebars clear up, or a Peterbilt driver that has their shifter touching the ceiling. He figured looks are way more important than comfort when removing valve cover bolts. So there we go. Look at that. Pretty sick, huh? Okay, a little follow-up. So we've got the engine down. I think that's about as far down as we're gonna take the engine. Not sure how far we'll get it put back together today, because I'm gonna have to go get some solvent and clean it really good on the outside. Would like to repaint it. I already have some paint, so that's good. Gonna send some stuff down with Cameron to have sandblasted so we can paint those and make them look nice, because I really want this to look good. Speaking of looking good, got the Raiders just sitting on with the tires. I think that looks awesome. These are the wheels that have been on it for who knows how long. Super wide in the back, 295, 50, 15s. I mean, there's some rubber under there. It looks awesome. Anyway, so we're gonna keep on working. I've got a bunch of stuff like transmission pan, filter, fluid, stud kit, bunch of stuff to do underneath, wheel cylinders for the drums. So there's a lot of cool things so we can get this thing ready. Hopefully within, 3 weekends from now, I want to have it at a car show. So we'll see if we can make it. So like I mentioned before, one thing that pretty much always happens anytime you start driving a car that has set for a long time is the master cylinder goes bad. So that's getting replaced. And I had Cameron clear coat it this time so it doesn't get rusty like on the Dart, because he didn't listen to me the first time. Anyway, and yeah, right, some people's children, you. And the brakes actually looked really good, but Kevin did do the wheel cylinders, and we sprayed the drum red so it looked kind of cool behind those keystones. He's still working on this one, but the rest of the brakes looked really good. Honestly, I cannot believe how well this car is coming apart. Aside from one spark plug, or 2 spark plugs that were not coming out very easy, everything's coming apart really well. So as dirty as the engine was and as dirty as this car was for sitting, really it's very clean. Inside the engine's good. Everything's just coming apart and going back together extremely smooth. Hopefully I'm not speaking too soon. But I'm gonna hit all of this with some solvent and clean it up this week and spray it, then get the intake and all that stuff back on. But it really looks pretty good in there. One thing I found out, so I was worried after I cleaned it that the engine was blue and the valve covers were black, and I thought, oh crap, this engine's been replaced. Well, went to Mr. F-body, Dutch guy's garage, and asked him, and he said on the Super Coupes, as well as the F-body, the petty cars, that the engines were blue with black valve covers from the factory. So kind of an interesting little tidbit. So anyway, back to work. So one other thing while we're doing the brakes is this rubber line that I've mentioned before several times. Replace those. They're not that expensive, and it can save your butt. I lost one personally. It's terrifying when you lose that brake line, because you lose your brakes. And one thing I always say is be safe. You know, it's not fair to other people if you go out there and you don't make sure your car is safe, and just out of carelessness, you hit a car and hurt or kill somebody. It's just not right. So always, always be safe, and change, fix, whatever, all of this stuff is important. Like I've also said before, it doesn't matter how much horsepower you have, how well your car runs. if it won't stop and it doesn't handle worth a dang, it's not worth anything. So tires and brakes and suspension are some of my big things. Anyway, back to work. So the new line is on and the front brakes are bled. But remember how I said everything was going really smooth? Well, you know, Murphy's Law, you say that and then you kind of screw yourself. We can't get the rear ones to bleed even though there's new wheel cylinders because the rubber line up there is like collapsed and we can't get the rubber line off. Plus I can't find one, so I'm gonna probably have to have one custom made for it. So hopefully I can get that done soon because we really don't have a lot of time and any delay really hurts the possibility of having this done this month. Well, we're going to finish for today. Just basically spent the whole day working on the car. Plus we went and got one. You can kind of see back there. The video for that will be before this one's posted. So you'll see it. It's the Duster that we went and saved. Anyway, so we did, like I said, quite a bit. We've got the wheels and tires on the front. Brakes are bled. Lines changed. Have the new master cylinder. The engine's been basically pulled apart as far as we're going to pull it apart for now. But I've got to do a whole bunch of cleanup because even though I went and cleaned the heck out of it yesterday, it is still just nasty in there. I don't know why this engine was so gross, but this engine was one of the dirtiest engines I've ever seen. However, inside is really clean. I did put some new Hella headlights in it, and I'm gonna put some old school square Hella driving lights on there just to kind of fit that feel. This car does have a bunch of hail damage, and now that it's been washed, you can kind of see it going down the side. There's all these little dents all over it. The roof's the same way. You can see where the hood definitely came up. There's dents there. The deck lid has some dents. You know what? I don't care. Also, because this is a 70s car and I think it's going to be cool, CBs were definitely a big thing in the 70s. So I'm actually going to put a whip antenna, I think. I'm going to drill a hole right there, put a CB whip antenna, put a CB inside with that sweet vintage sound system that's in it. I think it's going to be just a fun car. And again, I love this car, and I don't care that it's beat up and that it's rare. I just want to go enjoy it and have fun. Oh, also while I'm here, I'm not sure if I showed you guys before, but it's factory Space Saver tire, which is pretty cool. Dutch Guy's Garage is sending me out the air canister. That's the only thing I'm missing. So that will be complete. It's really a neat car. It's really going to be fun to have and drive. And well, I'll just tell you now, the goal is really, I want to have this car down at duct tape drags with a lot of the other guys. I don't think I'll be racing it or anything, but I want to drive it from northern Utah clear down to Tucson, Arizona and back. So put a lot of miles on it. That's going to be cool. That's going to be basically my challenge, is to drive it approximately 1,800 miles or 2,000 miles in one trip. Plus, I believe it's in September or something. So it's like really hot down in Arizona, no air conditioning. So that's going to be super cool. But anyway, so that's kind of the goal. I want to have this there, and then I want to have it at Matt's also next year. And who knows what will happen with it after that. I'll probably have my enjoyment there, and then maybe it will become available to one of you guys or something. But really love this car. It's awesome. And we're going to continue working on it. Hey everybody, so it's been a few days since I worked on this and finished up right before you seen this, and a couple things have changed. Well, I wasn't happy with how dirty everything is, even after washing it so much, and I really just want to do a lot of things right. And so just broke into my savings account, ordered a bunch more parts, and engine and trans are coming out. So I've got to get it ready, got to move it back a little bit so I have a little more concrete right here. Move it back a little bit and put it back up on jack stands a little bit higher, and then out with the old and then back in with the old. I don't know. But at least it'll be clean old and checked old. Plus, I'm going to add headers and a few other cool things that I hadn't planned on before. Already have all that stuff. I just had to get like a new oil pump, freeze plug kit, couple other little minor things. So it really wasn't much difference financially, just the time. I still want to have it ready for the Cache Valley Cruise-In, which is coming up pretty soon. So I got a lot of work to do. So instead of talking to you guys, I think I'm going to start on that. Well, back at it. So I moved the car the other day, like I said, put the rear wheels on it, and we're getting ready to pull the engine and transmission out. Well, Kevin and Cameron are. I'm going to be over there working on that Challenger, getting it cleaned up so it can go down to Kevin and Cameron's place to have some metal work done. And so we can get it ready for next year with that beautiful thing. Yeah, just look at that. Yeah. Anyway, so these wheels and tires do look good on it. I know a couple people complained on the last video that I need to find the factory wheels, but I really like these old Keystone Raiders on it. Anyway, goal is have it ready for Cache Valley Cruise-In, but more importantly, I want to drive this to duct tape in, I think it's September. So anyway, they're going to get to work on that, and I'm going to go over and work on that one. Well, while I've been over there sleeping underneath the Challenger, these guys have actually been doing some work, and the engine and transmission are ready to pull. That way we can put them on engine stands, and I can go over them with a whole bunch of solvent and try to clean them. And anyway, so yeah, we're going to get this pulled.
Neutral safety.
So the engine is out, and look how disgusting this is. That's after cleaning it. And this is one reason I wanted to pull it out, is if it's that dirty, there's a lot of oil leaks, not just on the top end, just everywhere. So that all needs to be addressed before it's actually driven a lot. I mean, don't mind the mess underneath. That fell out of the transmission.
It's in the crack.
But look at that. Absolutely gross.
Oh.
So yeah, now we're going to clean up a mess, push this car out, and get this all ready. That's going to go to the car wash. Yeah. So that's basically tar on this. And this thing must have been leaking out the intake and the valve covers and anywhere else possible. I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad. I'll show you the car. We've got it pushed out so we clean up our mess here. And then this has got to go to the car wash again, because holy cow, that's seriously, that's over an inch thick of just gross. But man, this car looks so cool. Those stripes just stick out, except for somebody, not going to mention any names, they got grease on the stripe. What the heck? Don't get grease on the stripe. And those wheels. Guys, I love this car. I know I said that I may end up selling it eventually, but I really do like this car. So who knows, I might just drive it. Okay, everybody, back at it. It's been a little bit, had a lot of other stuff going on. But I'm gonna take this in today and I'm gonna get this thing all cleaned up. I mean, you can see how absolutely nasty this engine bay is. And I already cleaned this all really good, I thought, once while the engine and transmission was in it. And as you can see, I mean, it is just absolutely disgusting. And so I decided to go ahead, pull the engine and transmission out, clean everything up in here, clean up the transmission and the engine. I'm going to add a shift kit and a filter and a couple other things and just check the transmission. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull the engine down and kind of do that piggy bank build that everybody's doing. I'm not going to rebuild it. I'm just going to freshen it up. New timing chain, new oil pump, all that good stuff. Check the bearings. If the bearings need replaced, I'll put them in. I've got a whole pile of all sorts of goodness over here. Kind of already went over some of it, but pretty much ready to get going on that. So hopefully here shortly, I will have this engine all done and trans done and back in the car so it can be done. Working on the Challenger, which is over there. That's got to go into a frame shop for some work, and I'll go over that here in another video with that car. And then we're going to do duct tape drags. So we've got a couple cars we got to get ready for duct tape drags, so that's going to be awesome. But today I'm focusing on this. So thanks to my friends at Super Clean, we're going to use the regular Super Clean, or the original, as well as the foaming. And since it's about a 15-minute drive to the car wash, I decided I may hurry and just kind of soak it with the foaming and let it just, you know, soak in and hopefully break down this grease. This stuff is awesome. I'm going to be doing a giveaway, so continue watching for the rules and what we'll be doing. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this. Oh, I guess I better turn it on first, huh? And see, this stuff has a lot of foam, eats away that grease, and hopefully that 15 minutes, it's gonna help just deteriorate it and break it down. Just spraying it on, and you can watch the stuff, all the grease and everything just run off. I'm gonna go ahead and take like a crowbar or something with me so I can agitate the grease a little more as I'm spraying it. And I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you guys right now, while you're doing this, when you're spraying the engine bay and everything with the pressure washer, be sure to wear safety glasses. Well, now that it's had some time to soak in and it's kind of dried up, but that's all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start hitting some of this just with a crowbar, just to try to get it out of the way. And then I'll spray it again and then soak it. So it made a pretty big mess. As you can see, there's a big pile of stuff underneath. Always be sure to clean up your mess at the car wash after. Again, using the different Super Cleans, going to try everything, just try to get it as clean as possible, so I can make my Super Coupe super clean. And then, like I said, be sure, safety glasses, because there's a lot of that stuff going to be flying everywhere. Wow, what a difference. Super Clean did amazing. Just a little bit of detail cleaning to do and then paint. And I mean, this is way workable now without getting all dirty. But like I said, you want to wear safety glasses because you get absolutely filthy. Look at my arm. It's disgusting. So, like I said, safety glasses. Be sure to do it in like a nice ventilated area because the fumes do get to you. And then I also need to remind you, don't spray Super Clean on aluminum like intakes and stuff like that because it will spot it. But that stuff is awesome. Wow, really impressed. So as for the giveaway that I mentioned earlier, Super Clean and I have teamed up to give one of my lucky viewers a can of Aerosol Original, as well as the original Super Clean to try out for yourselves. Really, the rules are simple. You have to have a mailing address in the lower 48 states and be 18 years of age or older. Basically, the way I'm going to pick is in any of my social media at Shade Tree Vintage Auto. Just comment with maybe a picture of your car if possible, description of your vehicle, a little bit about yourself, and why you would like to try Super Clean. Really, that's basically all. And then I'm going to pick by August 1st. Well, on August 1st, and announce the winner there and get in contact with them. As for the rest of you guys, if you're wondering where you can get Super Clean, you can go to your friendly O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and they have a whole supply. Well, now that I've got it home and it is all nice and clean, I mean, look, it's actually brown. It's not like grease black. K-frame's good. Must have upset something with the power steering because it's leaking now, but I'll fix that. But we've got to get this thing back together. Still got to clean the engine and the transmission because they are filthy, but hey, it's getting better or closer. We're also going to do a front end kit, I think, before we put the engine in. But now I've got to get some other stuff ready for another event. So this is probably going to get put on the back burner for a minute. And yeah, there will be an announcement coming up pretty quick. We're taking 2 cars to duct tape drags, and I'll show you all that stuff really soon. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.